Trigger warning. This video contains references to the stress and strain of modern education. This video is not made for kids. I feel like everyone out there, especially people on YouTube and Reddit, has at least one story regarding a funny interaction with a teacher growing up. I for one had many, but I'm going to start small with a story about my old art teacher, Miss Cobble. Now, Miss Cobble isn't her real name. Despite everything, I still think she deserves her privacy, and I certainly don't want her name being tied to this video forever. I'm pretty sure most storytime folks on YouTube use fake names to protect people's privacy anyway. Anyways, Miss Cobble is far from the worst teacher I had. I want to make that clear. This video is not intended to slander her, it's really more of a funny story. But she had a fiery temper that made it difficult for me to enjoy art in any capacity growing up. She would get mad at the tiniest thing in the classroom, from a mistake in work to a mild shift in behaviour. As I say, she wasn't all bad. I remember when we were doing wood carving and I sliced my hand up a bunch of times because I'm an idiot. She actually took the time to plaster me back up. Those cuts weren't nearly as bad as the medical disaster I experienced a few years ago, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, the point is she had a reputation as our angry art teacher. Some students were actually a little scared of her. It got so bad that when it was time for us to pick our own subjects, nearly no one picked art because they were scared of her. But there was one person who actually took her class. Just one. We'll call him Jeff. Jeff was a cool dude. He played guitar, had an appreciation for the arts, and was one of the few people I knew whose interests were his own and not just part of a fad or something. We liked Jeff. Alongside Jeff, I used to hang out with a guy who we'll call Tony. Tony was the cocky high achiever of the group, but was also super funny. But that's not important right now. Tony, Jeff, and I were basically the embodiment of 90s babies who grew up in the noughties. We played Halo, we listened to Jonathan Colton, and of course we watched those old hilarious Gary's Mod videos that were popular in YouTube's early days. Yeah, I can't complain about Skibbity Toilet being a cultural sewer pipe too much when I remember the kind of things I watched growing up. Basically, we did all of our teenage tomfoolery together. One day, I asked Jeff the big question on my mind. Dude, why the heck did you pick art as a subject? How can you stand being around Miss Cobble all the time? Doesn't she yell at you and stuff?
Honestly guys, she's not that bad. She's actually really nice when you get to know her.
Does not compute. Honestly, what Jeff told us was a shock to our systems. I mean, no student that we knew of had ever said something so wholesome and nice about Miss Cobble. I mean, was there something we were missing? I am autistic, so maybe I misread her facial expressions all these years. It's hard to say, but Tony and I accepted it and moved on. A few weeks later, assembly was about to start. Tony, Jeff, and I were sitting at the end of a row and chatting away, until out of the corner of my eye, I spotted Miss Cobble stampeding towards us. Oh god. Oh no. Is she coming here? Am I in trouble? I left the art class. What more does she want? No, wait a minute. Is it Jeff she wants?
Jeff! You didn't hand in your homework this morning!
I didn't? Oh man, I totally forgot. I'm so sorry, but listen, I did do it, and I can bring it in first thing tomorrow.
You are going to get detention for this!
But I actually did do the homework. I just forgot to bring it in. I could bring it in first thing tomorrow.
No! You have detention!
But I did do it, and I'm telling you I can bring it in.
No! You have detention! I'll make sure you're there!
What?
So she's nice when you get to know her. Maybe we just caught Miss Cobble on a bad day, but seriously, you guys have got to understand this. Jeff had never handed in his homework late before, and he was the first student in our class to ever say anything nice about her. Jeff stood out as the only one who really sang her praises and actually vouched for her, then she just went ahead and threw it back in his face. So, should you go out and hate your art teachers too? As harsh as I've come across in this video, I'm gonna say no. I think we have a bad habit of remembering the worst teachers we had growing up, and then we seem to judge every single teacher in the world as if they are the worst of the worst. But teachers work long hours for ridiculous levels of low pay, and have to deal with all sorts of terrible shenanigans from kids and their parents. And worst of all, most decisions made on education in English-speaking countries aren't actually made by anyone with a background in education. I feel especially bad for the teachers that worked with me growing up. I was not an easy kid to teach. I was a class clown, and I always made life absolute heck for any teacher that needed to teach me. Lord knows this eventually came back to bite me because I tried teaching for a bit as an adult, and I had to deal with class clowns every step of the way. I deserved every second of that. Anyway, the point I'm making is that teachers are hard-working, selfless, iron-willed individuals who've been getting the short end of the stick for years, and they deserve so much more than just our respect. They deserve higher pay, less hours, and a complete overhaul of the national curriculum. I can't stay too mad at Miss Cobble. Like I said, I've had far worse teachers than her. Ones who were outright abusive, and did things that were creepy, a tad illegal. They definitely deserve videos of their own in future. I don't know if Miss Cobble is still working at my old school, but I heard that apparently a lot of teachers at that school have basically had their contractually obligated pensions just thrown out for no reason, so Miss Cobble is probably just as much of a victim as anyone. Honestly, I hope she's doing better. Anyways, what do you guys think? Do you think Miss Cobble was behaving out of order, or do you think it was rational behavior for a teacher? Please let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, I have had way worse teachers than Miss Cobble, so I would love to make videos about them someday. I'd really appreciate it if you guys could give this video a like, and subscribe if you want to see more. If you want updates on my next video, you can follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky, linked in the description below. And of course, be creative, be the best, but above all else, be yourself. See you around!